Rama, Hare Rama. Oh, one more time, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hey, whoa! Hare, one more time, please. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. No problem. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. And everybody again. Hare Krishna, Hi boy. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hey, bo! Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisances of Shri Prabhupada. Welcome devotees to morning Bhagavatam class. This morning we will be discussing from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, verse 2. The chapter is entitled The Punishment and Reward of Kali, and we're very happy to have Mother Gita with us. Hare Krishna Mother, please accept my humble obeisances. All go to Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada.
And it's all yours, Mother.
Thank you. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जना यमुनतीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुञ्ज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र श्रीमद His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada की जय नंद कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य शील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय मायापुर धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय यमुना माई की जय तुलसी देवी की जय समेत भक्तवृंद की जय निताय गौ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल Our glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Our glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. Glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, verse number 2. Vrisham Rinaladhavalam Mehantam Iva Bibhyatam Vepamanam Padaikena Siddhantam Shudrataditam. Vrisham, the bull, Mrinaladhavalam, as white as a white lotus. Mehantam, urinating. Iva, as if. Vibhyatam, being too afraid. Vepamanam, trembling. Pada ekena, standing on only one leg. Siddhantam, terrified. Shudra taritam, being beaten by a Shudra. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The bull was as white as a white lotus flower. He was terrified of the Shudra who was beating him, and he was so afraid that he was standing on one leg, trembling and urinating. Purport. The next symptom of the age of Kali is that principles of religion, which are all spotlessly white, like the white lotus flower, will be attacked by the uncultured Shudra population of the age. They may be descendants of Brahmana or Kshatriya forefathers, but in the age of Kali, for want of sufficient education and culture of Vedic wisdom, such a Shudra-like population will defy the principles of religion, and persons who are religiously endowed will be terrified by such men. They will declare themselves as adherents of no religious principles, and many isms and cults will spring up in Kali Yuga only to kill the spotless bull of religion. The state will be declared to be secular or without any particular principle of religion, and as a result, there will be total indifference to the principles of religion. The citizens will be free to act as they like, without respect for sadhu, shastra, and guru. The bull standing on one leg indicates that the principles of religion are gradually diminishing. Even the fragmental existence of religious principles will be embarrassed by so many obstacles, as if in the trembling condition of falling down at any time. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The translation once again. The bull was as white as a white lotus flower. He was terrified of the Shudra who was beating him, and he was so afraid that he was standing on one leg, trembling and urinating. Very interesting chapter, and a lot to learn from this chapter. Punishment and reward of Kali as the Kali Yuga is approaching. Now, the section that we've been reading, where the statements are sounding familiar, we can see descriptions of Kali Yuga. In the previous chapter, we heard how the Mother Earth, and in the form of a cow, is expressing her distressed state of mind. To whom? To Dharma, who was in the form of a bull, and is lamenting about the pathetic condition of people in Kali Yuga, which means talking about us, we people in that pathetic condition. So here, the cow can see, even Parikshit Maharaj can see, notice that the age of Kali is dawning, it's coming. In the first verse of this chapter, Sutta Goswami explained, that King Parikshit was moving around, saw a person dressed like a king, but was not a king, and was beating the cow and bull with a club. Now, Srila Prabhupada, he mentions that this is the principal age of sign of Kali, which means you can see that low-class people with low-class mentality, without any Brahmanical culture or Brahmanical education, without knowledge or no spiritual knowledge, they take up the post of administrators and kings and leaders and whatever you may call them. And the business of such unqualified leaders will allow killing of innocent cows and bulls and animals. In fact, Prabhupada says large-scale organized slaughterhouses. Srila Prabhupada chooses words so very carefully, so apt, that really hits you, Never thought about organized slaughterhouses, which means it's all planned. It's not that one day someone will say, oh, want to kill animals, let open us. No, it's very, very organized. So today's verse, we see that again, explanation is given about Kali Yuga. And here there's a mention about Dharma in the form of a bull was white, like white lotus flower. Lotus is called Pankaja. And why white? Because white represents purity. There are different kinds of lotus flowers, and all of them, they represent purity. And Krishna, in fact, is compared, to lotus eyes, lotus feet, lotus face, lotus mouth, lotus lips, lotus hands, navel like a lotus flower, right? In fact, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter 59, verse 26, Kunti says, Namaha Pankaja Nabhaya, Namaha Pankaja Maline. That famous verse where she's saying, she's praying, she's glorifying the Supreme Lord, that your navel is like a lotus flower, you're wearing a garland of lotus flowers, your glance is like lotus flower, your lotus feet are, are engraved with lotuses. So much glorification using the word lotus flower, because lotus flower is representing purity. It's comparison of lotus flower is with Krishna, actually, you can see. Excuse me. And lotus flower is not only significant for its purity, but also beauty. Always lotus flower is, it looks so beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. And it's called Pankaja. Panka means mud and Ja means born. You see, that which is born in a muddy area, but it's still pure. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna explains this is how we should be, like a lotus flower. We are in this material world, but we can still remain pure, like the lotus flower. So should be like a lotus flower, pure. Now, even though the lotus flower is in the water, it stays dry. So even though we are in the material world, we can stay away from Maya. We don't have to get involved or drenched in Maya. We can still remain untouched, fully Krishna conscious, even though there may be, we may be in impure circumstances, or, we're in association of impure people or situations, or whatever it may be, we can still remain untouched or pure, not get affected by that impurity. Another word for lotus is Miranal, Pankajangri, someone, is comparing Krishna's lotus feet, to the feet to the lotus. Ambuja. Ambuja means water, and Ja means that which is born in the water. Kamala Lochana, lotus-like eyes, which also, there's another word for that is Kamala Netra. Saroja, Sara means lake, and Ja means, where it's taking birth. So Saroja. In fact, my elder sister's name was Saroj. There's one more I remember. Oh yeah, the blue lotus, Nila Utpala. Nil means blue. So lotus flower is a symbol of purity, beside it being so very beautiful. So here we are hearing about white lotus flower to emphasize purity. You see, white lotus is a symbol of purity. Why is that mentioned? To give us an idea what we need to meditate upon. Purity. How, if we are not yet pure, how can we purify ourselves, purify our senses, purify our body, purify our mind, purify our consciousness? You see? So here, the white lotus flower is compared to dharma, talking about religion over here. So dharma or religion is spotless. It's clean, it's white, it's pure, right? So here we see that the next symptom of Kali Yuga is that the principles of religion, which are spotless, like white lotus flower, will be attacked by uncultured Shudras. Again, Prabhupada is using the strong word attacked, just like that Shudra dressed like a king was attacking the bull, Dharma the bull. By whom? Uncultured Shudras, not just Shudras, uncultured. Why uncultured? Because lack of knowledge. Also defying the principles of religion. They defy dharma, they defy the laws of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why they are called uncultured. You know, in the material world, the word cultured actually refers to someone who wears a suit, you know, eats with a knife and a fork, you know, talks properly, walks properly. That's considered a cultured person. No, cultured means has spiritual knowledge, and not only just has it, but is following it also. So here, the spotless bull of religion, Prabhupada says, in Kali Yuga will be killed. People will become indifferent to principles of religion. You know, the citizens will want to act freely, you know, let me do whatever I want to do, free to act as they like, no respect for Guru, Sadhu, or Shastra. And we see that. Excuse me, we see that. Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport. Yeah. They will have no respect for Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Why? They'll be so impure, so engaged in sense gratification that you can practically say they have lost their senses. They don't know what is right, what is wrong, what they need to do, what they should not do. And in this verse, we see that the bull is standing on one leg. It's indicating instead of 4 legs, only 1 leg. It indicates principles of religion are diminishing. They are going down gradually. Like Srila Prabhupada has explained to us, 4 legs of religion. Satya Yuga, then Treta Yuga, one fell. Dwapar Yuga, another fell, like that, you see. So in Kali Yuga, religion is standing only on 1 leg. And that leg is of honesty. I don't know how many honest people we can find in this world. There is a little bit of honesty left, but then the other legs are missing. So this white lotus-like religion attacked by uncultured Shudras, principles of religion. So it's important that the principles of religion are followed. But in Kali Yuga, everything is contaminated. There's no longer purity. But Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada says, is the highest expression of spotless principles of religion. Again, choosing the words so very aptly. First of all, it's highest, and then it's an expression of what? Of spotless. You cannot find any faults in dharma, in principles of religion, in Krishna's laws. We cannot find any faults at all. Excuse me. You see, there are 6 Puranas, right? Sorry, there are 18 Puranas, but each mode of, each different modes of material nature, 6 Puranas are dedicated to them, like 6 Puranas for the mode of goodness, 6 for the mode of passion, and 6 for the mode of ignorance. 18 Puranas. Of course, there are many Upa-Puranas like subsidiaries, but Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada says that this Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam Puran, is actually for those in the mode of goodness, but it goes beyond. It's, for those beyond, which means pure goodness. Why? Because it's on the transcendental platform. Also, it presents only what you can say pure essence of religion. And it can be understood only if one is free of envy. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, we heard that. What are the qualifications of someone to hear Srimad Bhagavatam? It's not that, Srimad Bhagavatam is just another book. We can hear it or read it or talk about it every morning. No. It's the highest expression. It gives us knowledge about how to become pure and develop pure love for Krishna. In fact, in the very beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Verse 2, it says, Dharma projitaha kaitavo. Beautiful translation by Srila Prabhupada, completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated. This Bhagavad Puran propounds highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in the heart. This is a qualification. Only then one is able to really, understand, delve into the real meaning of Srimad Bhagavatam, And thanks to Srila Prabhupada, he is explaining it so beautifully in his purports. He calls Srimad Bhagavatam Amala Puran, means spotless Puran, no contamination at all. Mala means dirt. Amala means no dirt at all. Absolutely pure, uncontaminated. So Srimad Bhagavatam is Amala Puran. We, all of us who are on this Zoom call, we have, come to Krishna consciousness thanks to Srila Prabhupada, and trying to be pure. I'm talking about myself, trying to be pure. But this opportunity that has been given to us is absolutely golden. So sometimes I think about it that if I personally have received this golden opportunity, why waste it? Why not take Srila Prabhupada's process seriously and try to become pure? And once there is purity, then the devotee becomes qualified to go back to Godhead. You see, the sages at Naimisharanya, they also understood Kali Yuga has begun. And they became anxious about the welfare of the people of Kali Yuga like us. How very compassionate of them to think about us. And that's why they are inquiring, what is going to happen? Who will guide these people in Kali Yuga, in spiritual life? These are the questions coming up. They're inquiring. Because of their inquiring, the answers are given for us. How explaining to us what to expect in Kali Yuga, and also giving us knowledge about how we can remain like a lotus flower in this material world, uncontaminated, and purify ourselves. Remain pure. We are so fortunate we have our Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. What will be the standard of religion in this age? Krishna has wound up his activities and he has left the planet. He's gone. He says, of course, Sambhavami Yuge Yuge, that I will come, to re-establish Dharma. But we are fortunate that he has left behind Srimad Bhagavatam for us. In Canto 1, Chapter 3, Verse 43, it says, Krishna sva dhamopagate dharma jnana dibihi saha kalau nashtha drisham esha puranarko dhunodhitaha. This Bhagavad Puran, Srimad Bhagavatam, is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen just after the departure of Lord Krishna to his own abode, accompanied by religion, knowledge, etc. Persons who have lost their vision due to the dense darkness of ignorance in the age of Kali shall get light from this Puran. So important is Srimad Bhagavatam. It's not just another book on the shelf. It's very, very important. And here it's saying spiritual vision destroyed in Kali Yuga. We see when we go out to preach, when we reach out to people, how many are interested in Krishna consciousness? Not many. Their spiritual vision is destroyed. But here is Srimad Bhagavatam that is, like the sun removing darkness. Unfortunately, in Kali Yuga, people have no spiritual vision. They have no inclination. They have no inclination to become spiritual. They have no spiritual understanding. But here, by the mercy of Krishna, we have Srimad Bhagavatam to enlighten us, to, shine with the light of knowledge, guide us with the principles of religion, give us knowledge about true dharma, true religion, not man-made religion. So here, highest dharma is Krishna consciousness. That's why in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna towards the end tells us, Sarva dharman parityagya mamekam sharanam. Abandon all varieties of religion, just surrender unto me. Surrendering unto Krishna is the principle of religion. You see, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, I have come to establish dharma. You see? He's asking us to accept his dharma, his laws. When he says abandon all varieties of religion, then we may say, oh, here he's saying accept dharma, there he's saying abandon dharma. What do we do? When he says abandon all varieties of religion, he's talking about that which is not real, that dharma which is not real. Then what is real dharma? Big question. Mamekam sharanam, only become my devotee. That is ultimate principle of dharma. How we can become unalloyed, pure devotee of Krishna. So here in this verse, we see that dharma is compared to white bull because it's pure and it's the highest form of religion. So here in the purpose, Srila Prabhupada says, of course, the characteristics of Kali Yuga are described in this verse, but even though he says, Prabhupada says, even though descendants of Brahmanas do not have sufficient spiritual education. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Chaturvanyam manashishtam guna karma vibhagasaha. It should be divided according to guna and karma, qualities and work. Not Brahmana by birth. My father is Brahmana, so I am a Brahmana. Do we say that in the material world? My father is a Supreme Court judge, so I'm also a judge. No. You got to qualify. It cannot be by birth. My father is a doctor, so I'm automatically a doctor. No, it doesn't work that way. And why is this happening in Kali Yuga? Because they are bereft of Vedic knowledge. And they don't want to even, understand or hear about it. In fact, nowadays it's fashionable to say, I don't follow any religion. I'm a free bird. I don't follow any religion. They don't even know what's the real meaning of religion. That's the symptom of Kali Yuga. I was listening to one lecture where Maharaj was saying that he was traveling in a taxi in Singapore, and he noticed that there were beads hanging, on the mirror, and so he inquired, oh, this is the rosary you chant. He said, no, this is not my taxi, it's my friend's. And he said, I'm a free thinker. He told me, I'm a free thinker. Now, in Singapore, I'm a free thinker means I have no religion. It doesn't mean that I just do anything I want, but I don't follow any religion. I have no religion. So here Srimad Bhagavatam, the Amala Purana, is there to guide us. Just as, the lighthouse guides the ship, similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam is that lighthouse for us that is guiding us back to Godhead. We are talking so much about Kali Yuga, Kali Yuga, Kali Yuga. Kali actually comes from the word Kalaha, which means quarrel. And so this is an age of quarrel, like Srila Prabhupada explains. And quarrel reason, sometimes no reason. Quarrel. Okay, two people are quarreling. Let me also jump into that quarrel and just fight. I don't have any reason. I don't have any motivation. I don't even know these people, but I'm going to quarrel. This happens in India, right? If there is, say, a car, hits someone who's riding a bicycle and that person falls down. So there's a conversation going on between both the drivers, but then the public will gather and they'll quarrel for no rhyme or reason. Oh no, you're wrong. Why did you do this? And this, blah, blah, blah. It just goes on. Quarrel, sometimes there's a reason, sometimes there's no reason. And big quarrels for small misunderstandings. And what's the result? There's frustration, there's restlessness, there's confusion, there's bitterness. Srila Prabhupada explains that bogus people are coming up with man-made religion. And he talks about fragmental existence of religious principles, which means full religion is not there. As we said, dharma means laws of Krishna, but in Kali Yuga, we are losing full religion. People are not understanding, even though scriptures are there, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, they are there to guide us, to give us that spiritual education. But most people are not interested. And gradually we are losing full dharma. And Prabhupada says, embarrassed by obstacles and falling down from spiritual life. It's embarrassing when someone falls down from spiritual life, right? We see, in our terms, we call it blooping, a devotee blooped. But that's embarrassing. We feel responsible that why did we allow such and such devotee to fall down, to bloop? It's embarrassing. Deviating from the standard, not following full religion or full dharma. You see? So there are, of course, as we said, there are three legs of dharma are already broken in Kali Yuga. And here in the verse, it says that dharma is standing only on one leg. And guess what? Is trembling. We have two legs. If we have to stand on one leg, don't we start shaking? There is imbalance. We start shaking and we sometimes fall down also. We need two legs to really stand straight or, without trembling, without shaking. So similarly here, dharma is standing on one leg and is trembling. So when, like for instance, for us, if we are standing on one leg, there are very high chances of falling down. So similarly, it's very hard to balance as far as dharma is concerned. Just one leg. You see, that's why Srila Prabhupada, he keeps telling us again and again, don't go down. Be watchful, be alert that we don't fall down from the spiritual life. Because in Kali Yuga, standing on one leg, trembling, there's high possibility of falling down. So if we hang on to Srila Prabhupada, if we hang on to his teachings, his books, his process that he has given us, have complete firm faith in Srila Prabhupada and his teachings, because his books are teaching us real dharma. If we hang on to Krishna consciousness, if we hang on to devotee association, hang on to Srila Prabhupada's books, then there is a possibility that we can stay away from Maya. Then there's a possibility that we will not fall down. Then there's a possibility that we will not get carried away by the tide of Kali Yuga. Then there's a possibility of surfing over the waves of Kali Yuga. Not surfing internet all the time, It's easy if we are in the boat of Krishna consciousness. And The best part is if we have a bona fide spiritual master as the captain of our boat. That's the perfect situation. That we are saved, we are in the boat of Krishna consciousness. Of course, we should not relax there and say, I'm saved. No, look at others who are drowning in the ocean of Maya. Pick them up and put them in the boat of Krishna consciousness. That is what pleases Guru and Krishna. The principles of religion are already given to us in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and very nicely explained by Srila Prabhupada in his purports. All we need to do is take this knowledge to heart, contemplate on it, work on it, follow the process, and go back to Godhead. Like Prabhupada says, what is the difficulty? Where is the difficulty? The difficulty is laziness. The difficulty is not being serious enough or sincere enough. The difficulty is not making an effort to have devotee association. I personally feel very happy when I am amongst devotees. We are, discussing shastras and we are having prasadam together. We are chanting together. It's just a wonderful feeling indeed. It's devotee association that actually keeps us alive in Krishna consciousness. Now one may say, but I don't have, the ability to go and have association of devotees. No problem. When we hear Srila Prabhupada's lecture every day, when we hear our spiritual master's lecture every day, that is association. Reading Srila Prabhupada's books is associating with Srila Prabhupada. It's not that difficult at all. All we need is that sincere desire to endeavor, have a real clear goal in mind. As this verse today is explaining about purity, talking about the lotus flower, white, the bull was as white lotus flower. And as we saw, lotus flower represents not only just beauty, but also purity. So how do we come to that stage of, as you can say, completely pure? The first step is attentive chanting. When we chant attentively, everything else falls in place. We don't have to worry. Like Srila Prabhupada says, when we do Shravanam, then the next automatic stage becomes Kirtanam. Then that leads to Smaranam. And this is how 9 processes of devotional service can be practiced. So the verse again, the bull was as white as a white lotus flower. He was terrified of the Shudra who was beating him. And he was so afraid that he was standing on one leg, trembling and urinating. I'll stop here. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mother Gita, for this beautiful class. Actually, as you were about to end the class, I was really contemplating and really thinking, wow, this is a really deep class that requires a lot of self-reflection, because I was realizing how much you were, not how much, but also how many times you were speaking about the importance of Srimad Bhagavatam and how important it is for us to read and how spotless it is and how it's associating with Krishna and his devotees. And I was really thinking, whoa, it's sometimes it's sad that we don't make time, or we can't make time to either attend the classes or hear it later, because it's so powerful. And I was also really reflecting on your concluding point when you said, we don't make the effort, is what you said, to really come on. We make time for everything else. We make time for this, we make time for that, we make time for, everything, but not this. And I was kind of sad when I heard that, because that is, I guess it's Kali Yuga. I don't know, Mother, but
Sorry,
yeah.
I made you sad.
No, Mother, it's just that, the opportunity is there, as they say. And sometimes, although they say the opportunity knocks once, but Krishna is so merciful that it knocks a million times, and we still don't hear the door knocking, and we may not hear it for the few hundred times, but then at least a few thousand times we'll get to hear it. But it's just that we allow everything else in Kali Yuga, to really distract us.
Mhm.
So I was really, really thinking, wow, we really have to take time. Like, I was also remembering my spiritual master's words that when we start thinking that how many years of our lives has been dead, right? And how much more time we may have, left, what have we done? How
Mhm.
much have we been distracted? I was just really thinking about that yesterday, and today it was like, whoa, okay, Krishna, you gotta buckle up. But thank you, Mother. Such a wonderful class. Amazing. Would like to ask devotees if you have any reflection, any thoughts, any questions, takeaways, please. I heard a voice. I'm trying to see who it was. Okay.
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Richard, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, I also very much appreciate this lecture, especially when you stressed the importance of this Bhagavad Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, how much is there. It's absolute complete knowledge. It really, really, really makes our eyes get open to what is what, Krishna's position, our position, the things that have to be done, what science has not even learned yet, what the alchemists were never able to do has been described in Srimad Bhagavatam. What is there, what's not there? What's not there? So much is there. And so it's good to hear a lecture, that stresses the importance of Srimad Bhagavatam, and that connects to the gift that Srila Prabhupada has given us, because he translated it and gave a comment on it for better understanding of Srimad Bhagavatam. And we're very, 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 very fortunate. So that you brought this point up about the importance of Srimad Bhagavatam, I very much appreciate it. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Absolutely. I agree with Parikshit. It's just so powerful. And especially, we get the opportunity. One point that you're mentioning, Mother, about Sadhu Sangha, and I was really thinking, we don't have time to have Sadhu Sangha during the week. And we use, we use work and family, and which is very much valid. And we can only see the devotees once a week. But actually, I was thinking as you were speaking that, but we have Sadhu Sangha every morning on Zoom class. So there's no excuse, right? Yes, we may see the devotees in person once a week, but if we really want Sadhu Sangha, the opportunity is there. Is we come online and we hear class.
Yes.
And I was really thinking, wow, yeah, Mother Gita's right. Yeah, we can actually continue having Sadhu Sangha online with each other during class every morning if we choose to do so. So I was thinking the opportunity is there, and the Lord is so kind that he's showing us different opportunities if only we want to take it.
And who do you think we should thank?
Sure, Prabhupada ki jai.
Mr. Zoom.
Oh, that's right. It's the Zoom, right? You're right, Mother. It's so funny. Yes, Mother. Sometimes we criticize technology, but when it's used in Krishna's service, it's a blessing in disguise. Right? It's so amazing. We have Zoom and we can use it in Krishna's service, but still, it's such a challenge. So I was really thinking, wow, there are so many ways to have Sadhu Sangha, even through the advanced technology.
Absolutely.
That was so amazing, Mother. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Go ahead.
Srila Prabhupada, actually, when you're speaking about it, Srila Prabhupada has encouraged that, all right, so let those people who are coming up with technological gadgets and things, let them do it. And every time they do, we'll take it and use it for Krishna consciousness.
Yes.
Let them go on doing it. And it will, ours is to just take it and be able to spread Krishna consciousness even more. So yes, more things will come in the future because there are people who go to work. Their work is to come up with new innovations in science and so on. So yes, when a new thing comes up, we'll jump on it too, and then more Krishna consciousness, spreading Krishna consciousness, because that's what the world needs anyway. So yes, let them go on, and we'll just like Zoom. So many sannyasis who travel around. It used to be, you wait for months and months, sometimes years before you see one sannyasi that you would like to see. But now, because of Zoom, he appears on there, and his image is there. You can hear his voice, and here you can get the preaching. So yes, that came through science. But Prabhupada's direction is let them go on with the science, and whatever they come up with, we think about ways to use it in spreading Krishna consciousness and having the association of the Buddhists. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
He also says, let them do the hard work and we'll
Yes.
take the benefit of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one, Mother. That's a good one. And that's a nice quote of message from Dear Krishna on the chat. It says, Hare Krishna, I wonder how much Agyat Bhakti Anmukhi Swikriti Zoom founder must be collecting.
Absolutely. Krishna will bless him.
I hope he gets some punya from this, because it is definitely, and especially being used by, pure devotees, right? On Zoom is even more of a blessing. So that's really, really amazing.
Yeah,
And
but then you can say thanks to COVID also, because of COVID, Zoom came up, right?
yes.
Yeah.
That
is
was
true.
Yeah, that was a nice class, Mother, that Mother Malati gave in the early parts of COVID on our class. And she was saying how for her COVID is a blessing in disguise. And at that time, nobody could see any blessing because we were all like locked down, like quarantine. And she started listing it, and we were like, you know what? She's so right. She's so right.
But you see, there were advantages and disadvantages. Now with COVID, sorry, we are deviating from Srimad Bhagavatam, but during COVID, we devotees got the opportunity, to be at home, spend more time with family, read Srila Prabhupada's books, etc. But then on the other hand, I heard that those who are not Krishna conscious, there were many divorces because they were not used to being together for such a long time, together all day, because they were used to, leaving home in the morning after breakfast, spending the whole day at work, coming back only at night, have dinner and go to sleep. But now the family had to spend time with each other and got to know each other better. So there were more divorces. That's what I heard.
That is so Hare Krishna. Amazing, amazing. Wow. A lot of things happened during that time, but for us, in fact, during COVID, Mothers, when we actually started Bhagavatam online. And we started it, yes, we did, Mother. We started it actually in 2020 on Bhadra Purnima.
Okay.
Yes, we did. And it has been going on since then, and it's been wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. There's this nice message from Saurabh. He says, Hare Krishna, Danvat Pranam, Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. But sometimes technology makes us lethargic. I agree. I can see YouTube class. Why take hardship to go to location to hear?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is actually started happening even after COVID was gone, and I resumed those in-person classes. Devotees still prefer to be at home and, watch it on Zoom. Rather than come in person, because that's extra effort, So that's right. Yes. It has made quite a few lethargic. Yes.
Absolutely. And be couch potatoes.
Yes.
So
but nothing actually beats real satsanga
Absolutely.
in person.
Yes.
In person. You can't have prasadam together. You can never have a chance together on Zoom. So
Yes.
we felt the difference. And here in the United States, there was yearly men's retreat, and it started about 4 years ago, and that was the idea of Anutama Prabhu and Bhakti Mark Swami, and it was started at New Vrindavan.
Mhm.
So those who wanted to go then got together there. It was a very, 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 very nice 3 days of Sangha. The following year, we got even more excited, more people came. And then after the third year was COVID. And the devotees knew that they couldn't meet there because there's so many restrictions. And so it was done online with Zoom. And, they did their best to have a nice Zoom program. But even though we saw the positive side of it, it never really hit home compared to those times where we had the meeting in person, the
Yes.
fun that we were having in person.
Mhm.
I mean, this is little games that we played, with gulab jamun. People were throwing gulab jamun, and all the younger guys, right? We aim it high like that, and the younger guys will run under it and then catch it with their mouths without it. You can't do that on Zoom. It's absolutely impossible to do it on Zoom. And the rest were not trying, just laughed and laughed. We're doing this all in the rain. We can't do this on Zoom. It was raining too. We were wet and having so much fun. This is after all the lectures and the discussions when we came out like that for games. So Zoom can help to some extent, but it never did the whole personal connections and association. That's number one. It will always be number one. Hare
Mhm.
Krishna.
That's true. Very true.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandut Pranam, Jai Sri Prabhupada. Yeah, in virtual, we'll missing the chanting and dancing also. We're not able to enjoy.
Yes, we can dance like Nitya Gopal and Saurabh can. So we definitely miss out on that on Zoom. I mean, on Zoom, we definitely can experience and dance with each other. That is so right, Nitya Gopal. In the temple, we can hold each other's hands and twirl and go in circles.
Yes, yes. Yeah.
So true. So
Thank
true.
you.
Absolutely true. That's a good point. Yeah. And sometimes I think when we take time to really think about these things, Mother, we really think how precious sadhu sangha is,
Mhm.
how precious it is, how to take advantage of it, how to look forward to it. It's really, really powerful. Amazing. Yeah, really
And
amazing.
it is for our benefit, we are the ones who benefit out of it, depending on how we take that association, how serious we are about that association. When we meet a devotee, what is our relationship? Are we ready to, go the next level in our relationship, or just leave it at where it is, so that all is in our hands, how much advantage we take of that opportunity, right? So just like Rupa Goswami says, reveal your mind, you know, give prasadam, take prasadam, give gifts, take gifts, When we follow all that, then, we are actually purifying ourselves. And be grateful to that devotee for giving us association.
Yes, absolutely, Mother. So
Imagine if we are in a room all by ourselves, no one to talk to, no one to see, nothing to do. That's a miserable condition.
very miserable, Mother, very miserable. In fact, there's this nice post by Dear Krishna. He says, in the personal association of wonderful devotees like Nitya Gopal and Prabhu and Saurabh Prabhu, even a lazy person like me can dance and jump. Impossible on online platform. I agree, Dear Krishna. I agree. And when he says that, I know exactly what he means. I know exactly what he means. But Mother, and that's why, like, right when we started COVID, when after 4 months, temples were starting to open up, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna go mark the floors of the calendars. I mean, of the temple, and do 6 feet, whatever it takes. We're going to get this temple open, and literally, I mean, Nitikapa remembers, it was just literally like 8 of us. And we just did chanting for an hour and a half and simple arti, and a little prasadam for everybody. But it was so good.
Oh, I enjoyed that day a lot and lot. So much meditation, so much time to nicely, chant and enjoy, meditate quietly. It was wonderful.
It was a small group, right? It was just 8 of us. And all we did, Mother, was just chant the Maha Mantra for an hour and a half and then have short arti and prasadam. That it was such a simple, beautiful program. Chanting and feasting is what we did for a year and a half.
Yes.
But it is not the quantity that matters, it's the quality, right? That is what helps us in progressing.
Yes. And that what gave us the taste to really want to, come on class, really want to associate more and continue with the programs, really, I mean, it was really, really nice. It was so nice. And when we had our Rath Yatra, when Antamar Prabhu gave us, his 5-minute speech during entertainment, and he was making a point, who should we thank for all this? And he mentioned me many names. And at the end, we realized that that was a trick question. And he said, it's Srila Prabhupada. It's Srila Prabhupada that brought all this for us. We are ever, ever, ever indebted to Srila Prabhupada. Never enough. I mean, it's just like, limitless. So I was really appreciating that, Mother. And that's why when you're speaking about Bhagavatam being the spotless Purana, it's Prabhupada came with just 3 Bhagavatam, the first 3 volumes, I believe. And amazing. So yeah, really amazing class, and something that I feel we have to really meditate on and really, dive deep in our lives and how to become more surrendered to the mission. Thank you, Mother. Such a beautiful, I mean, this class says, for me at least, is making me think and go deeper. Very, very nice. And I hope each one of us here can take that time. Are there any questions from devotees, any sharing, any reflections and realization? Please do unmute yourself. And if there isn't, we thank you all for joining us, and we hope to see you online tomorrow. Tomorrow we will get to hear Balabhadra Prabhu on Chaitanya Charitamrita. So please do join us tomorrow morning. Until then, Vanchakabdubhyascha Kripasindhabevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, and have a wonderful day, devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Thank you for
Hare
nice
Krishna,
class.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai.